In northern Uganda, school children practice a dance of celebration. And practice they might, because for the past 2 decades, these people have known nothing but war and have had little cause to celebrate. But just as these children practice their dance moves, tentative peace moves are starting to take hold in Uganda's war-torn north. In Uganda's northern districts, more than 1 million people live in displaced persons camps like this. They were herded into these protection sites in an attempt to make them secure from the rebels of the Lord's Resistance Army, or LRA, and to deny the rebels access to supplies and recruits. For 10 years now, these people have suffered the indignity of camp life, so different to traditional homesteads that customary values and social structures have all but disappeared. And with little or no access to land or livestock, camp dwellers have become totally dependent on humanitarian agencies for all their basic needs. In this conflict, children have paid a terrible price. Many have lost parents, many more have been abducted by the rebels. Camp life has turned them into scavengers. Charles Uma is a dedicated local government official who spends much of his time touring displacement camps. He knows all too well the horrors of camp life.
Life in an encamped situation is generally bad. I personally don't recommend it. And it is worse in the parent camps in Guru. Because these camps were created a long time ago, 10 years ago, 1996. They were not planned, very crowded, filthy. I mean, every bad thing you can find in the parent camps.
But Uma's greatest fear comes from the suspicion that camp life has destroyed the culture of the Acholi people and led to a wholesale change in social structures. Despite the improved security of recent weeks, he fears that if elders die before traditional lifestyles are restored, then traditional practices will die with them.
That difficulty has led to a social breakdown among our communities. Many men have deserted their children because of a responsibility that is overwhelming. Our men used to be the bread earners, but with this war, the reverse is true. Women are now the bread earners of our families. This is completely unbelievable, but it is a fact.
Women have borne a special burden in the camps. Many have been deserted by errant husbands, left alone to cope as sole provider and head of household. Prostitution, or survival sex, has long been a common feature of camp life. Betty Obote has been living in LRA camp for 7 years. She says that this survival culture has affected young girls as well.
All these other cultural things that used to groom an Acholi girl, an Acholi man to be what the community respects, and that should take the mantle from the parents, that thing is gone. It's completely gone.
But brighter skies ahead are forecast for the displaced. Faced with the prospect of peace, camp dwellers are daring to move out of the parent camps into new, smaller camps from where they can better access land. And signs of normality are starting to return. Land that has lain fallow for the last decade is springing back to life under the farmers' tools, and cattle herding, impossible in the parent camps, is slowly being reintroduced. Nelson Okwera is camp secretary of the new Chet Kana camp. He's adamant that with the right support, camp dwellers can kick their dependency on aid.
I think life here compared to where we were, I think is better. Because at least here, as we can see, as we can now experience, at least we're a little bit better than when we were at the main camp there. Because we have access to our own land, and we are now trying to bring some animals also in. People are cultivating. I think we are not very bad. With assistance from the NGOs, if they can give us, I think after a year or two, we are going to be self-reliant, at least something of the sort.
A few people, whose native villages are close to the camps, have gone one step further and moved back home. People like Rose Akulu. Rose is old and wise enough to know that despite the possibility of peace, life will not get much easier, especially now that she must take care of 14 young family members orphaned by rebel attacks. But for Rose and many more like her, any life is better than camp life. But fear of insecurity remains, and government soldiers keep a watchful eye over the people.